Well-rounded person who is intellectually competent, open to growth, religious, loving, and committed to doing justice and generous service to the people of God. This year's JSEA Award was presented to Joseph Slama, and it is my pleasure to welcome him to the stage tonight.
I want to start just by saying thank you all. Thank you first of all to you parents. You've done so much to help make our community what it is, and you've helped us to become a pretty amazing group, you must admit. We've benefited from your being good parents. Thank you to the teachers who were there to welcome us to SLUH as freshmen, and for the past 4 years have shared your passions for your studies and your work with us. And the main reason I was excited to be able to address you, my classmates, this evening, once I got over the initial shock that you guys witnessed, was to have the opportunity to thank you. I came to SLUH like some, not most, but some of us, not used to fitting in with my classmates. And the community I found here was completely the opposite. Those banners hanging in the hallways that screamed brotherhood at us every time we went to our lockers, at a lot of places, such a bold claim hanging in the hallways could be dismissed as propaganda of sorts from the school. But here, we always showed that the concept of brotherhood was not some lofty, unachievable ideal. It's a living, breathing reality that we have brought about with each other. It's exactly that idea of kinship that we heard so much of from Father Boyle. Through 4 years, guys have again and again reached out to classmates and underclassmen who may otherwise have been seen as outsiders, and shown that they too are a part of this brotherhood. Brotherhood was never some lofty ideal that we hoped to achieve. Every day, it was an ideal being achieved. It was never perfect, I'll admit, but I'm willing to say that it was darn close. And I'm willing to say that because at some point, we realized that a group of 271 guys forming a higher bond beyond being classmates wasn't impossible. And we took this knowledge that we could be brothers, and we drove to make it happen. The effects of this drive were apparent on a day-to-day basis, and they will be for the rest of this weekend, and even after we've left that last Mass together early Monday morning. Our brotherhood was apparent in the pats on the back in the halls between classes, and everyone who came to school early on a Tuesday morning to throw a turnaround turn-up. And the fast friendships formed on retreats. And a crowd who milled around a dead baby shark in junior hallway, sharing a laugh during what was otherwise the most hectic and stressful part of the gauntlet that was junior year. And in the hug fest that erupts among us where we sit during the sign of peace. If you don't see what I'm talking about when I say brotherhood, think back to last September. When we lost Connor, I believe that was, without a doubt, the hardest week for us as a class. And for many of us, it could be the hardest week we've ever lived through. I never knew Connor personally terribly well. However, his loss was still a struggle for me because he was a brother. He was one of us. But in a way, he has stayed with us, growing our brotherhood as we scattered through the halls that week, seeking one another out and sharing what we were going through. I'm pretty sure my first ever interaction with John C. Hoda happened that week outside the chapel, and we just talked about how we were doing. Despite the dreadfulness of what had happened, we as a class became stronger for it. And the really amazing thing is that our brotherhood wasn't stagnant. Again, our dynamic has had a knack for reaching out to others, from visiting parents, to new faculty members, to all the people we met on senior project. This is exactly the call we received on our direction days almost 4 years ago. To whom much has been given, much will be asked. We came into an already dynamic community, and we took that, cultivated it, and gave it back. We gave it back through hours of co-curriculars, through senior advising, through a love of learning and gratitude for what SLUH has to offer. A place is defined by its people, and they're really amazing people. A lot of learning goes on at SLUH High. We know this pretty well. I mean, these past 3 weeks are probably the first time in 4 years many of us have had the chance to actually relax. Before we all head off to our respective schools or gap years next year, however, let's ask ourselves, what have we truly learned? Because at the end of it all, it wasn't whether a certain short story is comic or ironic, or how we can do battle with the integral of inverse trigonometric functions. Those things are important. I mean, we wouldn't teach them at a Jesuit high school if we couldn't point them towards the greater glory of God. But the greater lessons, the life lessons, extend beyond the classroom. They can be learned in the classroom, but they extend outside it. There have been many of these, and brotherhood is one of them. In fact, I'd argue it's an all-encompassing life lesson. Because for the past 4 years, we've been presented with the opportunity to learn what it means when we refer to brothers and sisters in Christ. As a Jesuit school, we profess to find God in all things. As a class, we found God in each other. This is the lesson to take away. The lesson that we are all, ultimately, family. Again, all I really want to say is thank you. You guys have been amazing, and it's been an honor to be classmates with you for 4 years, and I'm humbled to call you my brothers. It's a good day to be at SLUH.